welcome to FPV Afterburn, our weekly or maybe bi-weekly news stories of the latest things happening in FPV that you guys need to keep abreast of. And on this particular episode, we're going to have probably 4 or 5 stories for you to get your teeth into, have a debate and a discussion down in the comments, and let us know whether or not you think these issues are going to affect you or not. So, straight off the bat, without any further introduction, is another, I'm afraid, issue from the boys over there at SpeedyBee. So I received an email this week and I touched on it in the review of the SpeedyBee Mario Mini 25, but a bit more information has come out since then. So basically SpeedyBee have issued this update to their Bluetooth app, which will then update your drone's Bluetooth, and it's not a forced update, but once you've done it, you can't roll it back. And unfortunately, what it does is it automatically enables remote ID. And there is some discourse and discussion, and I don't have the full facts, but there's some discourse and discussion about whether or not it will allow you to arm the drone with a GPS plugged in, or whether indeed without a GPS, it will allow you to do it anyway. Now, at this moment in time, I don't believe that's the case, but I'm just waiting on some further details. I have actually got a broken SpeedyBee flight controller here that I'm going to burn, essentially, and update and see exactly what the situation is. But I just thought it was important to bring it to you now, with it being that breaking news. If you're going to update your SpeedyBee Mario Minis, do not update the Bluetooth on it, because potentially you are going to lock yourself into remote ID. Now, in the UK, we don't have a remote ID requirement, so it would be a bit unfair to force that remote ID onto us, at least for the next 2 years, until it becomes a mandatory issue for FPV drone pilots in the UK. And there are other countries in the EU that also are very similar as well. So drop a comment down below, let me know where you're from and whether or not remote ID is mandatory, and whether or not you'll be updating your Bluetooth on your SpeedyBee Mario Mini. They're absolutely brilliant drones, but as I mentioned in the review, there are issues with SpeedyBee, I'm afraid, and this just adds to that list of issues. SpeedyBee, you make brilliant drones. Some of the decisions that you make, not quite as good. Now, next up in the news is, and you're going to be no surprise on this, it's Gyro Gate. It's DJI O4 Pro Gyro Gate. And the news is getting bigger and bigger, whether you go onto Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, no matter where you go, pilots are having problems with their DJI O4 Pros. Now, we know that the gyro has been swapped with some of the newer units. We don't know exactly when that was done, because DJI have not really told us anything, so we sort of left to guess and fill in the blanks ourselves, which as a community, you guys are giving me so much information. So I just need to say thank you, because the more information that we can get and collate and put together, the more accurate the information is that we can put out to you in the community, so that you know exactly what you're buying and whether or not it's going to be a problem. But we've got confirmation. Essentially, it is the DJI O4 Lite. We broke the news the other day that a DJI rep has confirmed, yes, we are aware of it and we believe we can fix it with a firmware update. Again, I did play devil's advocate there, and I did say, well, if that's the case, surely you would have fixed the DJI O4 Lite by now. But there may have not been an appetite to fix it because it was cheaper. Pilots expected less from it. So it's possible that a firmware update may well work, but you know, we're going to have to wait and see whether that's the case or not. I received an email as I was actually filming this news show, and the email basically is from a group of people in Warsaw, Poland, and they want to start up a drone club, but they don't have funds to be able to pay for a venue. So what they're suggesting is basically they're going to go to companies and say to companies, in exchange for a bit of exposure, you let us use your venue, we'll fly, film, make all sorts of cool videos, and you'll get like plenty of exposure from it. But the problem is, at the minute, they've only got 200 followers on Instagram. So they've asked me to help them try and get some more. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave a link to the club down below and to their Instagram down below. If you're in Warsaw, Poland, and you're looking for a drone club, this could well be a place for you to go. But if you can give them a like and a follow, boost the numbers a little bit, and hopefully we can help, between us, get them a club going. Because as always, I'm a pilot first and I'm a YouTuber second, and the more people that fly FPV drones, the happier that it makes me. So let's try and help them and push them numbers up and try and get some businesses on board with them. Good luck, guys. Let me know how it goes. Now, looking at some facts, figures and stats, the popularity of other systems is growing in light of the DJI O4 Pro issue. The main benefactor, from what I can see, from the data that I can see, is HDZero. However, along with HDZero, you can also see a rise and an increase in analog usage as well. People are questioning whether to use Walksnail. I'm not here to burn any other systems. I think other companies can do that themselves. If you want to use Walksnail, enjoy yourself. It's not a problem. And that's all that matters, that you enjoy what you fly. But the real benefactors of the DJI problems so far are Analog and HDZero, which are seeing a real reconnaissance in sales. With a lot of pilots saying, I just want to fly without worry and stress about firmware issues and all those other issues. Just let me fly and be free. And finally, the last story is the death of GoPro has been seemingly overly exaggerated, because with all the issues around DJI and all the pilots now switching back to analog or HDZero, GoPro have dropped the Mission 1 at seemingly exactly the right time. This is a micro 4/3 action camera which has got all sorts of features not seen even in the O4 Pro, and you can switch it between quads, so you don't have to keep paying that extra money for an O4 Pro for every one of your quads. You can just get a cheap, whatever is acceptable to you, FPV transmission system, stick on a new GoPro, and away you go. Now, questions are going to remain as to how good it actually is once us pilots get our hands on it. How robust is it going to be in crashes? How quickly is it going to overheat? Because it's now got a much bigger sensor in there, the potential is it's going to overheat a lot quicker. Have they dealt with that? Have they added better thermal protection? Is that at the cost of extra weight? Now, if you're carrying an action camera on a helmet, or as a cyclist, or as a mountain biker or a skier, that extra weight's not as critical as it is if you're sticking it to an airframe and flying it around on a battery that would normally last 3 to 5 minutes maximum anyway. So there's all sorts of questions that we need to ask ourselves, and the only real way to know is to get hold of one. Now, I put a community post out asking you guys what you would like to see me feature next month. Would it be the GoPro Mission 1, or would it be the DJI Avata 360? And overwhelmingly, you guys have voted for the Mission 1. So today I've actually ordered one, and as soon as it comes, we'll start getting the footage out there, and we'll do some tutorials. And of course, we'll do our review as to whether or not we think it's worthwhile. Now, I think the biggest problem that's going to occur with this is governments and regulations the world over are really pushing heavily now for sub 250 gram drones to be the limit. Obviously, once you strap a GoPro Mission 1 on there, you're going to be well over that 250 gram limit. Now, this piece of news might be a little bit too late for some of you guys, but kicking off on the 21st of May is the World Drone Congress in Shenzhen, China. There's going to be 630 speakers at the event giving you their take on how drones and the technology is moving forward right now. It's a 3-day event covering everything related to drones and FPV, including some crazy competition challenges such as racing, obviously, drone soccer, and building cleaning, among the others. There's other more strange and crazy things, but that's the main ones. It's on for 3 days and runs at the Shenzhen Convention and Exhibition Centre in Futan. So that was the very first edition of FPV Afterburn, the new show here on Squatting Quads. Now, it's been a little bit ropey and a little bit rickety. What I want you to do is, if you've seen any new products, any new things, features, or news stories, submit them to us. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what they are, and we'll try and feature it on next week's video. Anybody who gets a news story featured, of course, will get credit for it on screen as well in the episode. So let's do this together. Let's build the best community news show on YouTube when it comes to drones, FPV drones, and all related peripherals. Please like the video, hype the video, share the video, do all that crazy stuff that I've got absolutely no idea of what it does, and I need to get out of this really, really hot stuff because it's really warm in this studio. But until next time, you've all been amazing, and just remember this: one more day. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most, so watch it and let me know if they're right.